Hi and welcome back to Deep Charts in this week of the Deepdom launch event. We have seen what Deepdom is. We started the week by understanding what liquidity is, and we've continued the week with Fabio answering your questions on what's going to happen in the bootcamp, what's going to happen inside of Deepdom and the Deep Charts community. We have seen 3 Orderflow traders, professionals, use this live in front of your eyes every single day and answered some of your questions. And today we're going to go even deeper in everything that relates to the functions that we have developed inside of Deepdom, which is, of course, as you guys already know, this amazing platform that you're going to see right over here. We're going to backtest a little bit together, answer some of your questions, and see how to implement Deepdom with MBO data in your backtest. And your host is, of course, me, as always, Andrea Cimi. And I would like to start this live session with you guys by understanding how long has it been for you guys into Orderflow? What has been your best take from Orderflow? What has Orderflow done to your trading that you think people should know about Orderflow? Because I can understand from my side. And what Orderflow has done for me is it took away most of the need of interpretation. It gave me objectivity in my entries. It gave me numbers and clear indications of when I should enter and when I should stay out of the market. Because again, as I said multiple times, Orderflow itself will not make you profitable. These tools will not make you profitable by themselves. It's like buying a professional weapon, right? A professional sniper rifle instead of a shotgun. Right? You can be much more precise, but it's you who ultimately has to shoot, has to aim to shoot, and every single day opening the trades in the market. But of course, it makes a huge difference. So what Fabio and I and the whole Deep Chart team has been trying to do over the last year or so is to educate people on how professionals view the market and look what happens behind the candles to have better confirmations for your entries, for your trades. And so many traders up to this point have changed the way they trade, have improved dramatically the way they understand market, the way they trade, and have implementing the elements of Orderflow in their strategies or learn from some of the strategies that we propose as some of the options, and have seen dramatically improving the results in their trading. So we're very happy about this, and I'm happy that you guys can also find some of the benefits, as we can see in the chat. No guessing, just reading market data and making decision. From guess to reacting. Orderflow shows a deep level of information, and if you want me to grow the volume a little bit, I think that's the maximum I can get here today. How many live sessions will be in the total for the 3 weeks? There's going to be 3 live sessions per week. And I want to kind of walk you through how the bootcamp is going to look like, right? Because, these charts that you see now on screen are absolutely phenomenal tools. Absolutely phenomenal tools. But you need to learn how to use these. And the best possible way you can do this is to learn by people who actually use these charts for a living, okay? This is also the kind of thing we want to do at Deep Charts. We don't just want to tell you, hey, this is a cool chart. We want to give you access to traders that actually use this in their trading. And this is the cool thing about Deep Charts as well, because every time we launch a new something, we provide you with the best education money can buy at a ridiculous price, which is basically for free now. It's basically free. Like, you can go on the Deep Charts launch kit, and if you pre-order now, by the way, the official release date is going to be the 18th. So you're going to start being able to use it starting Monday. So the upcoming Monday will be the official release date. And as you can see, you have 2 options: Deep Charts plus Deepdom, 6 months or 1 year, or just Deepdom in case you don't have Deep Chart. But I strongly advise for this. And if you're an early bird bonus, so if you were present at the previous launch, you also get 2 months for free as a gift, as a token of our appreciation. And so if you drop all the way below, I want to kind of introduce you also to who are these people. Fabio Valentini is a top-ranked world-class trader in the Robbins World Cup Trading Championship, in the CME Equity Group Cup. He's a professional trader. He's been a professional for the last 10 years, and he's one of the biggest order flow traders right now. And both me and Fabio have learned order flow, and we've mentioned it sometimes inside of our podcasts, from this guy over here, Mr. Enrico Stucchi, family office manager. He's a legend in the world of order flow in Italy. He was one of the first ones to actually use it. And a lot of what we have learned about order flow, we learned from him. So you're going to be able to learn it from the source, okay? From literally the mentor of me and Fabio for what relates to order flow and liquidity specifically, because this guy helped developing Deepdom as well. Like, he was using another heat map software, and he's a professional, right? I'm not going to tell you how much he manages because, you know, it's private information, but he's a serious trader. Like, he's a big size trader. He was in the COT report at some point, right? And he also uses order flow on a daily basis, and he's one of the few traders I know that actually only uses the heat map to trade, and some other tools, of course, as a context and everything. But for execution, for trades, and all of that good stuff, for order flow trading, he's basically just using Deepdom, right? And he's contributed to the creation of it because he didn't like the other heat maps that you can find today on the market. They were a little bit too much, a little bit too heavy, and not so clean, right? That's the problem with most heat maps today. So not only you get a heat map that is completely cheaper, but also very, very powerful and created by serious traders for serious traders. And you're going to learn from him how he reads the auction and how to interpret liquidity areas. So you're going to learn from Fabio, from him. From Fabio, you're also going to learn a little bit about how to integrate this with, for example, the NASDAQ effort, the IVB model, all the models that he has created for Deep Chart as head of alpha research, and how to contextualize it with the deep trades, with normal price action, and with volume profiles. A very similar thing will be done by Carmine Rosato. He's a dear friend of us. He's been an order flow trader for a very long time. He's publicly verified a lot of legit trading skill, and he will also get deep into his favorite deep charts, Deepdom patterns, his favorite liquidity patterns, absorption patterns, and all of the really good stuff. So you're going to learn how to read real institutional order flow, how to use liquidity heat maps, master icebergs and stop runs, and a lot of live practice, live examples at market open, and setups, just the one like we've seen here on the channel. And you can see the full platform walkthrough over here. And as always, you can find the same link. I'm going to copy and paste it into the description so that you can actually evaluate the purchase, because it's going to last only for the next 10 days. So if you haven't taken action yet, I strongly advise you to do this now. I'm going to pin it, and we're going to get deep into the charts. And as always, as a quick overview, remember that we have all the drawing tools here, which typically on the deep chart you typically have on the left-hand side. We have them on the upper side over here. We have the indicators right above here. And as of now, as you can see, I have added the liquidity scan below here. I've added the stop runs, and I've added the volume profile and the icebergs. Okay? And now you can see them all over here. The diamonds are the stop runs, the triangles are the icebergs. And we are on the E-mini S&P 500 futures right now, okay? And let's move on a little bit. I think this is yesterday's action. And as we always say, right, the most typical behavior that happens, and you're going to be able to read with heat maps, is liquidity seeking. So let me just bring about the replay and see how these levels attract and also rejects price. This is Fabio's template. I'm going to load my template, or the deep vision template. And as you can see, if you click on shared, once you're going to get this, you're going to get a bunch of different options of heat map. Okay. And you're going to be able to basically select one or the other. Okay. So you don't have to come up with anything by yourself. Let's make sure that on the source we're MBO. Yeah, as you can see, we have MBO data loaded up. And let's just get the deep iceberg on the chart. Awesome. And let's click on play. and see how this can behave. Also, another very important thing you guys might want to know. Liquidity contrast. You can just delete all of that if you don't want to see that and only have the super hot levels, the ones that matter. It's a very good thing to do. And if you zoom in a little bit, you're going to start seeing that we have a reload. This is what we call a reload, right? This is basically a level that gets broken and immediately aggressive buyers putting, or let's say passive buyers putting a very close order. Let's see what's going to happen right after this. Well, they likely canceled it. Let's see if they're going to be able to get to the other side of the liquidity, or if this iceberg over here and this iceberg over here are going to keep their intent of absorbing. Yeah, as you can see, we've been drawn to that liquidity, and right on that liquidity, we've loaded even more. Let's zoom in and see how this went out. We had exactly this level being traded, right? And right after that, as we tapped into the same level, we have this 166 contracts being added. And this is the iceberg, right? And I want to kind of explain to you guys how icebergs actually work and why MBO data is so important. Let me get a drawing tool for you guys. So, one second, let me get it like this. Okay. So, this is the order book, right? So this is passive liquidity, as we define it. You have passive sellers, and below you have passive buyers, right? So, what MBO does, and I think we can see it also here. Let me double check this thing real quick. Indicators, sorry, properties, DOM levels, and we can filter, right? Yes, by percentual. Let's see if we can get a filter. No, I don't think it's ready yet. I'm gonna ask Antonio how to do this later. But we're gonna basically be able to see different numbers here. Maybe it's absolute. No, okay. So passive buyers above here, sorry, below here, and passive seller above here. This is the liquidity, right? But as of now, you can only see a total number, right? You can see 22, 33, 40, 46, 49, blah, 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 blah. All these numbers represent how much volume is there in terms of liquidity. But let me ask you a question. Let's say we take this level over here, 107 contracts, hot level. How do we know if this level over here is 107 different retails playing one contract, or how this is maybe one guy placing 100 contracts? How can you know? Well, you can't. And that's where MBO comes in. So if, let's say, there's a level here of 100, normal data feeds will tell you, hey, there's 100 orders here. We don't know who is what. MBO data, market by order data, tells you, hey, out of these 100, it's 100 different retails putting one order, right? They have all different IDs. That's the key thing, order IDs. MBO gives us order IDs. So it's 100 small orders worth one contract each. Or it's one big order from an institutional player of, let's say, 90 contracts, and the rest is small retails. The only way to know this for sure is MBO data. And so, sometimes you might see where these big liquidity areas are, you see the big bubbles, right? Because a big seller is matched with this huge liquidity of buyers. You see, there's a big buyer over here, look, price goes there and eats that liquidity. The big bubble of the sellers eats that big level of liquidity. Easy, super easy to understand, But here something happens. A big bubble appears, but there's no liquidity level. Let's zoom in and see what happened. Well, something clearly happened here. There was no big liquidity in the book here. Look. It was like, I don't know, maybe 30-ish contract, 38 contracts, 30 contracts. It's not much. How is it possible that there's 166 over here? Well, that's what we call an iceberg. What an iceberg order is basically behind these 36 contracts that were placed on the buy side. Some orders were behind the scenes hidden. Because sometimes if you're smart money participants, you don't want to advertise your position. You don't want to put a big liquidity level that everyone can see. You want to hide some of it. And the only way to hide it is with iceberg orders. And so as you can see with this number, 166 and 2, what does that mean? It means that there was a order with the same order ID, so the same big guy, that put 166 contracts one by one. In this case, 2 by 2. In the parenthesis, you see 2. That's 2 orders at a time. So there was a very fast reload of orders that happened all at once in the market. Imagine 2 orders at a time being reloaded at extremely high speed. Every millisecond, a new order by 2 contracts was added at that place. And the iceberg pops up. This type of technology is fucking unbelievable. The first time I saw MBO data and iceberg orders, I was like, what the hell have I been looking at on Candlestick all this time? Because this is the only way to see genuine market manipulation. And we define market manipulation as not showing your intentions. And this is the only legal type of market manipulation that you as an institutional trader can have. Instead of placing all of your market at once, all of your buy or sell order in the market all at once, you can hide it below the surface, and that's why it's called an iceberg. Because if you think about what an iceberg is, if this is the water, in the iceberg you can only see the tip, but the big ass iceberg that follows the Titanic and Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet, the big chunk that matter is below the surface. And it's loaded on top of the book, one order at a time. Bit by bit, bit by bit, bit by bit, bit by bit, and they buy gradually and accumulate. That's how institutional traders fill a lot of their trades. Is that clear? Leave me a 2 in the chat if this was clear. And as you can see, price reversed. We had this huge absorption, and then boom. And at the tops and the bottoms is where you see the biggest icebergs. You see here, 211, huge iceberg, huge player absorbing. Right after that, what happened? You see price went and took away this liquidity, and immediately after, kablow. Isn't that phenomenal? And also in the reload, breaks the low, tests, reabsorbs, and again, 1, and we move down. Test again, and we move down. We test it, we break it, and then we move lower again. So being blind to this is being blind to a good half of the picture. You see also here, we plotted the low on the biggest iceberg. Plotted the high on the biggest one, and what you can do is, instead of seeing all these small icebergs, is you can filter them and say, hey, I want to see only those up above 150 contracts. And now, as you can see, I've filtered out the noise and the small ones, quote unquote, 100 contracts is not small, but now you can see only the big ones. basically plot highs and lows inside of the marketplace. Let's see if we're going to be able to spot another one. Ooh, look at what happened here. Let's see if some of you guys have studied. What is this? What is this called? Because, yes, we had liquidity areas all over the place. We hunted this one. We hunted this one. We went for this one. We went for this one. And liquidity level after liquidity level, we basically ate out all of that liquidity. But this is different. This is a little bit different. This is a huge level of liquidity. It is a barbecue, but it is a huge wall of liquidity. And there's a guy in the chat that says, looks so difficult. Well, welcome to finance. It's not supposed to be easy. Everything that matters in finance and everything that, is worth knowing to make money in finance is going to be kind of complicated. Look at the Big Short movie. It's going to teach you a lot. So, to make it simple for you, you should see these areas as meat. And I'm going to use another template for this one. Or actually, let me just change the colors. Because you can go here, indicators, and actually properties. And we can put the heat map with deep dominant color. Okay. This is by meat. Okay, imagine this as meat. These bubbles, the purple bubbles, are hungry sellers. So hungry sellers will look for the buy meat. Hungry buyers, the blue bubbles, will look for sell meat, which is the blue one. And sometimes there will be so much meat on the way down, right? So there's some buy meat. Sellers hunt for the buy meat because they're hungry. Hungry sellers eat some buy meat. Hungry sellers, boom, they eat more buy meat. A lot of buy meat, boom, sellers eat all of that. Another level of buy meat, boom, they eat it. But now they're hungry, right? They were hungry and they've ate a lot of liquidity on the way down. All this buy meat was consumed. Now we have a huge wall of meat. They might not be that hungry anymore. And also, there's more meat joining the party at once. We call this a reload. This is called fresh liquidity. So, boom. Whenever you see a huge wall of meat, after all of this meat was already eaten, it's likely that someone here is just preparing to buy a fuck ton of contracts. And if they delete it, they will add it market. And you have a reversal right there. Is it clear for now? Eat all the liquidity and reverse? Well, from here, the liquidity is so much, they're even scared of getting there. This is thousands and thousands of contracts. I mean, look at this. This is not a retail. This is some very informed person that poured a huge buy order into the market. And we had this move up for a total of 58 points. Okay? So they provided more liquidity, built a huge wall, and then buyers to control. Now, seller might start to get hungry again because they were dominating the entire auction, right? But look at this. On the way down, huge iceberg over here, 500 contracts. Boom. Again, 500 contracts bought over here. There's someone huge absorbing. And boom, they ate even more, 650. And let's see if they're going to hit the last level. There you go. So if there's a big fall in price, they ate, they're not hungry anymore. Buyers start to show their teeth. Well, buyers start to show their teeth. Now sellers get hungry again. They pierce through an iceberg, pierce through the next one, and the next one. Liquidity acts as a magnet, and we keep moving lower. So all of these liquidity areas are typically used as targets and rejections. You're going to see Price moving up, rejecting these areas, and then hunting them down once more. Boom, again, one more liquidity level. Sellers are hungry today. Boom, they've ate all the thing. Now the next meet here is pretty far. So first, buyers take control. And look how there's a little bit more sell meat over here. And price went to eat all of that sell liquidity, sell meat. There was some liquidity over here, then was deleted. What do I mean by deleted? When you see these areas here, it means that there was a liquidity level. Look at this. Huge liquidity levels here. 1,000 contracts, deleted. And then deleted. So these two were placed in the market and then deleted. Where do they end up? Either they buy or they place it with these icebergs. It's likely this guy that deleted it here and then filled it as an iceberg. You need a centralized market. Some markets like FX are not. That's absolutely correct. I'm going to show you the deep reload later this week. Does Deepdom have crypto? It doesn't have aggregated crypto data yet. I'm going to stop the replay. Let's back to the source settings, MBP. Let's get back to MBP for a second and connect to the real-time data feed. And let's see if we can, okay. Maybe we can get a different chart this time. And instead of the ES, we can, for example, load the NASDAQ. And see how that book looks like. How do they feel an iceberg exactly? Well, easy. It's like buying or selling for us. See how also on the NASDAQ we have these huge liquidity levels? Let's see if they're gonna, let's see what's gonna happen in real time, if they're gonna hunt for them or not. And you can literally change everything over here. You want to have a little bit more contrast, see a little bit more of the levels, you can have it. You know, you can play around with these. Let me load, but now these are too high. Let me see if I can zoom in a little more and we can see a little more. Yeah, now we can see a little better. Can you add EMAs to Deepdom? I think we have, or don't we? We might add it. Yeah, that's pretty easy to add. No big deal. But what you might want to have is the VWAP, for example. And with or without the standard deviations. So I can have, for example, this one, I'm going to put it red. And I'm going to have the daily VWAP somewhere around here. Yeah. We got the VWAP here, which is, you know, a very clear institutional reference point. Which data feed do we need to buy for Deepdom? You need a level 2 data. Let's get into some questions, guys. Ask any type of question you might want to have on Deepdom. I saw that there is no more deep charts Deepdom. What do you mean? My question is there an indicator there, IVB? That is part of deep chart. with a T. So on the IVB model is specifically inside of Deep Chart, not on Deepdom. How much would level 2 data cost for Deepdom? Depends on how many markets. If you take all of the CME, I think it's around $40 or $50 a month. If you take just, for example, the NASDAQ, it's probably $20 a month, 20, maybe 30. But a lot of prop firms give it for free. A lot of brokers give it for free. So, you know, up to you. You can find solutions if you don't want to pay for it. We're going to have an offer for you to buy it at a discount. Can I use interactive brokers with Deepdom? Yes. So on the feeds here, you can add the connection. Let me show it to you. Add the connection. You can select interactive broker, and you have to. There's a tutorial on how to do it inside of your user area, and you can basically connect with the TWS. Deepdom comes with data feed and level 2. No, you have to purchase it on the side. For the Deepdom buyer, do we get liquidity course access tomorrow? Not tomorrow. On the 18th, we're going to start the liquidity bootcamp on Monday, basically. So on Monday, you're going to get both the software because it's being released. We're finalizing some things on the server side to improve everyone's experience. And you're going to get the liquidity bootcamp as well. Can we have footprints on the heat map? Not really. It's a different charting engine, so you're going to see the bubbles. These are your footprints. Like, a bubble is like a number in the footprint. It's exactly the same thing. Can you just trade strictly on Deepdom? And how many weeks will the bootcamp last? We have 3 weeks worth of bootcamp, and yes, you can trade directly on Deepdom. It's exactly the same as trading on Deep Chart. You're going to basically just open your trading panel and you can trade for one or the other. It's exactly the same. So I might, for example, you know, say I want to risk $100 or $500. The price is going to take that liquidity. Well, I'm going to place a stop loss based on money, $500 or $5,000. And on quantity, I'm going to put risk. I'm going to buy, and nothing will happen until I place my stop first. And now I have it, and I can place my target together with those smart money orders right there. And I can trade exactly like, you know, with any other software out there. Okay? Do you have developing VPOC from volume profile plotted on the map? I think we do. I think it's the dynamic point of control. Yeah. There you have it. With the standard deviations as well. You don't need all of them. You can also disable the envelopes, second envelope, and just have the one at the center. That's your developing point of control. But it's a dynamic one. I'm not sure it's the one you're specifically looking for. I'm going to ask Antonio how that works, by the way. Brothers, if you don't make cash with this Deepdom, you need to find a job. It's not that easy, bro. What does MBP stand for? Market by price. Orderflow plus Deepdom plus option flow equal money machine. Well, kinda. Just signed up for DX feed this week in preparation for Deepdom. Can I also get the deal for the data feed? I'm not sure you can get it now. Now that you've bought it already. Can you explain spoofing? Yeah, I can explain spoofing, but you're likely not going to see it because it doesn't happen anymore in very high liquid markets. So basically, spoofing is the opposite of an iceberg. They place orders very close, huge orders, and then they delete them. Excellent product. Thank you very much. What's your take on trading gold? I mean, it's you can trade gold for sure. I can, for example, look for GC, which is gold. And I can have a gold heat map as well. It's exactly the same. And look how it behaves the exact same way. Huge liquidity level. What does price do? Kaboom and kaboom to the next one. New fresh liquidity is being poured in. Boom, they absorb the buyers over here and then they fall. It's literally plotting every high and low. I mean, not using this, guys, good fucking luck with trading. Is Deep Charts available on Mac? Yes, with any Windows, basically. Look at this, by the way. There you go. We're about to approach the liquidity level. Boom. We ate through that liquidity. They've added also quickly some buying liquidity that got deleted right away, basically. But there's our target. What were you asking? For looking at icebergs, we need level 3 data. MBO. No. Level 2 is basically level 3 now. Don't forget, don't think about level in terms of level 2 or level 3. Just think in terms of MBO or MVP. DX feed full market depth has MVP. Will you do a live trading session using Deepdom? Yeah, we might as well do that. We've done it, by the way, 2 days ago. Go back in the channel and see it. Is it necessary to connect to a broker? If you want to trade, yeah. If you want to use it for visualization purposes, not for trading, super fine. You just buy DX feed, which is the feed that basically feeds the data to the software, and you don't need to trade with it. How many concepts in heat map? Well, it depends what you mean by concepts. But there's one basic concept, and I'm going to say it right now in front of your eyes once more. The biggest concept you need to know is that price seeks liquidity. Because big market participants need big counterparts. Hence, there is a structural behavior of liquidity seeking. That's the main thing. This is sure. I'm going to be a Deepdom trader. The information is so satisfying. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just, look at this, bro. We've literally just took a great trade over here. And you can also see, we open it here, targeted the liquidity, boom, super easy. And you can test it like this. You can go on options or trading strategy report, even better. And I can select the sim account where we've just traded. I can generate the report and I can have all the trades that I've taken, time analysis, everything that relates to my backtest or my forward test, my real account, whatever that is. You track it automatically. It's also a trading platform. It's not just charting. You can connect literally any broker out there that has Rhythmic or DX Feed or CQG, plus interactive brokers. You can connect literally any prop firm that has Rhythmic or DX Feed. Literally almost anything you can name, you can basically have it. And on Show Portfolio, if I go here, I can set, for example, a maximum daily loss, or a maximum portfolio loss, or a trail loss, right? If you have a trailing drawdown with prop firms, or a maximum profit in case you have consistency rules, and limit the trading hours if I don't want to trade in specific hours and I don't want to fuck it up. Well, I have a system that allows me and helps me managing risk. I can add the symbol, save my risk management settings, all in one platform. Isn't this awesome? Isn't this phenomenal stuff? Time frames are not a thing here, by the way. This is not a time frame base. This is a tick by tick, minute by minute, millisecond by millisecond refresh rate type of chart. Look at how much can I zoom in, and it goes super extremely fast. There's no time from here. It's just about how much detail you want to see, zooming in and zooming out. When Deepdom will get aggregated data from Bitcoins from... we're working on it, guys. Next few months, inshallah, we're going to have... we're going to have cryptos as well. Deepdom can be used on a tablet? No. Only Windows. It's a heavy program. Like it's not an easy software. Like you need to have a decent computer to run this stuff. It shows you the one thing that is missing in every other platform. That's absolutely correct. That's absolutely correct. And you get the chance to get this lifetime at $300. I cannot even believe saying this. I don't know why we made such a crazy offer, but if you have a Deep Chart subscription active, just take the add-on for $300 and you have it forever as long as you have a Deep Charts license active. Like, with MBO data, there's not a single offer in the market that is this good, especially if you buy them together. Because here you get 40% discount on Deep Charts, plus this add-on over here is included, $1,097. I mean, what the hell? Plus, if you are one of the traders that trusted us in the first launch, you get also 2 months on the house to thank you for your appreciation. This is how we like to do business, okay? This is, and you're gonna pay basically half of what you normally pay out there, plus you get top world traders explaining you how it's actually done for an entire month. I mean, what the hell? I don't know if you haven't bought this, what you're waiting for, but you know, the link is in the description. So, I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate you guys for staying with us here tonight. We're going to have even more live sessions in the next few days. We're going to have more videos. We're going to have a full in-depth guide ready by the time the platform is out, so that as soon as it comes out, you have the guide. You can set it up with my templates or with Fabio's template or with Carmine templates if you bought the bootcamp, of course. So it's going to be an amazing month for Deep Charts, and the next few months is going to be so many new updates. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal. And if you get Deep Chart as well, you get 3 live sessions per week with me, with Fabio, and with the Deep team, where we look at setups live twice a week, thrice a week, with, you know, a team of professionals. So it's absolutely phenomenal stuff. I hope to see you guys inside. I hope you enjoyed this live session, and I will see you in the next one. Ciao.